Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the Isle of Man in the UK. This is John and Mike's MMA Corner.
UFC 205, Madison Square Garden. Belal, before we even go to there, let's go back a year. This time, 1 year ago, you recently had fought for Titan FC in Washington in front of a couple of thousand people 1 year ago. So 1 year from then, you're going to be fighting on so far Dana White said it's the biggest grossing event in Madison Square Garden, bigger than Holyfield and Lennox Lewis. The numbers are going to be phenomenal. It's a mega card, let's put it this way. You're going to be on it a year. What a year. This is nuts.
Yeah, man, it's been a huge year for me, man. Winning the Titan bout, and then getting into the UFC, and then not expecting to get 3 quick fights that back to back. So, man, it feels good just to be working and finally get people to know who you are and have them appreciate you. Like, a lot of people are like, how did you get in that card? How did you get in that card? I'm like, they obviously like me, like the way I fight, and they want to put me out there, and they just moved me up to prelim, so I'm happy with that too.
Yeah, nice.
First one, so I like that.
That is good, man. That's also because, I love Fight Pass. I have Fight Pass, but more people have Fox Sports 1 than they do have Fight Pass. So more faces, and that card from the first fight to the last fight is going to get attention the whole way through. That is awesome card. Now your opponent changed, and I say it, and I'll admit it. I think the opponent now in Luque is a better opponent than what you originally scheduled. Were you when you found out about your original opponent getting pulled out? Let's say we don't know the full story. We haven't had any hearings, so we'll leave that there. And were you worried, or did they already say, "Don't worry about it. We're getting someone"? Because there is plenty of guys out there anyway, and I think everyone would have jumped at the chance to get on that card.
Yeah, at first I was worried just because a lot of their cards only had 12 fights on there, and then this card has 13. So then I was like, they probably think it's already too much people. We'll put them on a different card or different time. So then that got me a little scared. So I was like, the whole night I was thinking like, man, are they gonna put me on the card? Are they not gonna put me on the card? I honestly didn't care who I fought.
Yeah.
Because I was not one of them guys that game plans or works towards just fighting lineman good or anything like that. I didn't set anything up for that. I'm one of them guys that just likes to do my own thing, and as long as I'm fighting the way I fight, I could be anybody because I can fight any way I want. But I was just happy that they found me somebody the next day early. I was like, okay, they sent me a message, cool. So I was like, as long as I got an opponent, I'm happy. As long as I'm still in New York.
Now, like you said, you've had basically back-to-back fights. You've just been slightly. They keep doing it. How's that been with training then? Because obviously, you've probably had quite a bit of an intensity level on your body and a bit. How have you been handling that? Because obviously you've got to manage your body. You can't just run on full tilt, for the past 6 months, man. Your body needs to at least have a bit of a break and then come on. How have you been balancing the whole thing, mate?
Yeah, I mean, I think it worked out a lot better because I don't have to spar as hard. I don't need as many hard rounds, so it's more so just getting better and working my technique. So a lot of it's just working my technique, keeping my cardio up. My cardio's been good. My weight's been good since I haven't had that fall off where I had to sit out like a month or something like that, and then you just go into eating mode. So it's like working out perfectly. I just been doing nothing but like drilling and stuff like that. So it's actually a lot healthier type of practicing. So I may do that from the long run anyway, just because when you have to go through all them hard sparring rounds, you think you have to go like 7 and 8 hard sparring rounds where you're knocking each other out in the room. You don't need that anymore. Yeah. Training smarter.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it is learning curve, and I was just wondering how you approached it, because last thing you want to do is break your body down before you get to a fight, and especially because this, you won't have another fight until next year now, the way the cards are scheduled, etc. So it's one of them ones you want to make sure you go out with a bang, and especially on a card like this, it's making sure you're looking after yourself. Have you been looking at treatments in a sense of like, not just sports massaging, like there's like hot yoga, there's your osteopaths, etc. Have you been done stuff like that to help your body recuperate? Anything like hyperbaric chambers? What's that cold one called where you're sitting there and you're free cryo, that's the one. Have you done anything stuff like that at all?
Yeah, I actually do cryotherapy at least twice a week, and I have since my 2 camps ago I started hot yoga. And I was using it to lose, cut weight, the day before weigh-ins. But now I'm starting to use it like every week, so it just feels good. It feels good on your body. You don't think that type of thing will help you, but it really does.
Have you noticed your flexibility when you're doing jiu-jitsu open up a lot more? Because when I first started doing MMA, my hip flexors were really tight, so I could never do a triangle. When I was first doing MMA, imagine this in my calf, my foot, I could only get it to there. I couldn't get it to the joint. I couldn't get it up. My coach would stand over me and try to press it down. My hips were so tight because I used to do such heavy deadlifting. My hips, my muscles are tight up, so I had to go do yoga and I open up my hips and open up my body. Basically, everything was loose now, like kind of a lot smoother. Have you found though when you're rolling? Have you noticed any difference with that kind of stuff from the hot yoga? Because it does help, I think.
Yeah, it helps a lot, and then it honestly helps you recover because you're stretching through and all that stuff. So and it's like its own little workout. So afterward, you feel a lot better.
Yeah,
and you're standing up straighter. So I'm like, okay. Most of the time, you see like these athletes, like in the NBA, NFL, and all that other stuff. They'll be like 38, 39 years old, saying, but what's your secret to staying in the game so long? And they say, yoga. Yoga's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah. Well, I noticed. I heard that hot yoga. The great thing about it is you just sweat and sweat. So it's one of them great things where you are getting like a mini workout. You're getting rid of all the toxins, all the toxins out of your body as well when you're just having a nice. And it's good like meditation, so to speak. Because obviously the fight game, aggression, intensity, there's kind of the things you associate with it. It's a nice kind of way to do an active recovery and just let your mind kind of clear all that craziness, I suppose you could put it, out of your head.
Yeah. That's a big thing, like just getting your mind off it. And that's, the game is, honestly, fighting is like, to me, it's like at least 75% or 80% mental, man.
Yeah.
You see all these guys with talent and everything like that, they'll have the biggest heart in the locker room and in the practice room, but when they get to the cage, sometimes they'll choke or sometimes they'll get super nervous and they won't be mentally there, so they won't perform like they usually do in the practice room. But like me, mental game is a big part of the fight game, and like you said, yoga, just clearing your mind, not thinking about anything, and then just relax everything. Yeah,
you nailed it with the mental side of things. You know, I've had Rob Dorsman, who is a sports mind coach. He does multiple fighters, UFC based and other sports as well, other sports athletes, and we've spoken at length, not just on air, off air as well about it, because you see that guys go into the gym, they go into the cage, and they do something. They'll either not just necessarily choke. You overthink. That's the key. When you go in there and you overthink, you don't flow. You're questioning before you do something. You start to get a bit rigid, a bit tighter. And everything it just doesn't click, and that's a big thing. In the fight game is the mental aspect. A lot of people don't realize how important having a strong mind makes your body perform.
Yeah, and then you got Conor McGregor type. We'll get in his opponent's head.
Yes.
And then that messes them up even more because that makes them want to hurt him.
Yeah.
And like you don't have to hate your opponent to fight him. It's a sport, man. It's mixed martial arts. Yeah. So like Conor McGregor gets his opponents to hate him. And then they want to come out there and kill him, and he doesn't really care. He's just joking around anyway. It's not like he's serious when he says the stuff he does. So he's in there smooth, happy, still smiling. But them, they're out there ready to kill him, rigid, stiff, ready to freaking throw a bomb. And then that's how he catches them 90% of the time. Yeah,
because they're slower because they're so rigid and they're so tight. They're slower than they would be if they were just relaxed and fluid. That's the thing about yourself with your striking. It's very fluid. You know, you are relaxed when you're in there. Your combinations just flow. Have you found that now you've had a couple of fights? You know, you've adjusted to the UFC kind of, so to speak, the fact that you're in the UFC, because as much as you try to block that out of there, you're in there. I remember speaking to Tim Elliott, and he said that when he was in the UFC, what he did do was he changed who he was as a fighter because he thought he needed to stay in there and the way he fought. When you're in the cage, it's very much like you were entitled. Have you started to just feel a lot more at home now in the Octagon?
Yeah, honestly, like you said, where Tim Elliott said that, like my first fight when I fought Joe Ban, like I said, I'm not a guy who usually game plans or anything, but when I fought him, I was like, I'm in the UFC now. I gotta come up with a perfect game plan. I gotta sit there, study my guy night and day to figure out what I'm gonna do, what I'm not gonna do, and that messed me up. Yeah. So like last fight, I didn't watch any tape on him. I just went back to what I was doing, having fun, going in there and just fighting, man. That's the easy thing, just going in there and fight. It doesn't have to be a mental thing or a Jackson thing where you need a specific game plan jab, 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 run,
Yeah.
run, run, jab, jab, jab. Run. You don't need that. And
Yeah.
just go in there and run. Whatever happens, it flows. And that's what most fighters do best at.
Yeah, it is. I agree with you wholeheartedly there. So, do you leave it then now fully to your coaches to say, we're going to work on this and this and this specifically? Just leave it to them now in a sense of footage and bits of like that?
Yeah, like the same thing with my coach, where he'll say like, all right, we don't even care about game planning or anything like that. We're gonna show you a little something here and there what he does, and then you do what you want with it.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna tell you this, that, and then however you want to react to it, that's how you react to it. So we'll just do reaction drills to it. So it's not anything
Nice.
like if you throw the jab, I'm gonna throw an uppercut. They're gonna throw the jab, and I can either throw a cross or a uppercut or a hook.
Yeah.
Whatever one I decide I'm gonna do with it.
Nice. That's nice, because so then when you're in that fight game, you're not thinking about your game plan, because like we said, I spoke with actually a few fighters, Anna Elmos as well, who's fighting on the UFC Belfast. Cause we were saying that if you go in with a game plan, and that game plan ain't happening, like the guy ain't doing what you need him to do,
Yeah.
you know, you suddenly then start going, I can't compute this, and then everything falls apart. So having that, I'm going to do what I want to do anyway, but when he does throw what he usually throws, I'm going to have my 1, 2, and 3 ready, my options, and I'm going to throw them and then keep doing what I was doing before it, and then just basically go through. Your opponent, Luque, like I said, I think it's a great opportunity and a great opponent to have because he's on the win streak. He's got a bit more of a name to him. I think it's a great fight, generally anyway, for the card, and it's also good for you. You know, that'll help definitely. You know, getting that win will push you up there because you're beating a guy who's on a win streak. I think that's a great one to have.
Yeah, I like it a lot, especially because he's an exciting fighter. He's not the type that'll just try to lay in prayer, try to push you to the front. This is the first card in New York, and them fans are probably gonna be restless because they're gonna be wanting action. So I plan on bringing it that fight.
Yeah, definitely, man. I can't wait. Honestly, I am. Well, firstly, I'm so happy as well for you, Belal. The fact that I was happy when you got signed to the UFC, then the UFC New York card, and you got your name on. I was made up for you. Over the moon, man. Honestly, because you know, from talking to you from Titan FC, making debut on Titan FC to now, it's insane. I'm so like, it's insane the kind of roller coaster ride it's been joining you on this little journey with you. And the thing is, I know what potential you have in you from your fights in Titan FC. So not everyone who knows you from Titan FC will know that. So I know what there is to come. Not even just in this fight, but in the future. I know that you're the kind of guy who's going to be staying in the UFC welterweight division. You won't be an 0-3 kind of guy and get kicked out. So honestly, I can't wait to see this fight. Never mind, you know, I can't wait to see it finish the year on a high, man. I'm so happy.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, bro.
Look, before you go, Belal, I remember your name, but how can people at home follow you on social media and stuff like that, dude? Stick it on out there. Plug.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the interview. You can follow me on Twitter at BullyB170, Instagram at BullyB170, or just Facebook me at Belal Muhammad. I'm real active on all of them, so you just click the follow button.
And then obviously you got Reebok who kick you out. But have you got any other like chiropractors, any hot yoga people that are helping you out, any stuff like that, sponsor stuff?
Yeah, just quick shout out to Go Polar Cryotherapy, Combat Corner, who keeps gearing me up for all my fights, and best gear in the world. So and everybody else out there that supports me, appreciate it.
And last but not least, I need to know your gym, where it is, because if I live in the area and I want to go and train, where would I go to? And give props to the people that have helped you out, man. Not just coaches and fighting partners, but maybe friends and family, etc.
Yeah, you can follow me. I'm training at Rufus Sport right now down in Milwaukee, and then Chicago Fight Team down in Chicago. And just shout out to my brother Hussein, been there with me since the beginning, and my little brother actually fighting the week before me in Indiana, Oscar.
Ooh.
And shout out to everybody else. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, he's 4-0 right now, looking to be 5-0 at 135. So it's gonna be another look at.
Little ninja to look out for. Okay, nice. Okay, then I'll tell you what, we're gonna have a chat afterwards about him. Give me a second, Belal. Ladies and gentlemen, tune in to this card. 205. That's all I need to say. If you don't know when it is, just go away, people. Stop talking.